known for, the red, white, and blue ribbon event of American football, Super Bowl.
To Jim Taylor on a power sweep, cutting back at the 10. Taylor is in for the touchdown.
Showing on the clock. The Cowboys and the Colts all tied up at 13-13. There's the snap. The kick is up and is long enough. It is. He fires for the ball, and Lindstrom going for it.
Gets up, can't find anybody else, picks off running to the left, rolls on the move, and it's caught like this at the 40, takes it up to the 50, he'll go all the way,
Bacon, and I'd like to welcome you to Channel 4.
Thank you very much. Good evening and welcome.
giving to Allen, sending a wide left, he has to reverse his feet over to the end, he gets away from him.
The San Francisco 49ers versus the Miami Dolphins. Super Bowl 19. Live and exclusive. This is Super Bowl 20.
They have come from far and wide. We even have fans from Great Britain. It is Super Sunday in San Diego. The Redskins and the Broncos getting together in Super Bowl 22.
Welcome to Super Bowl 23. Believe it or not, this is the 7th year in succession that we've had the Super Bowl live here on Channel 4. And this year's game has the potential to be the very best, as we have the #1 ranked offense in the NFL, the Cincinnati Bengals, competing against the #2 offense of the San Francisco 49ers for the title of Super Bowl champion. And already there's been some dramatic news from the Bengals camp. Stanley Wilson, their third running back, will not be playing in the game due to a violation of the NFL substance abuse policy. Sadly, this is not his first problem with drugs. With me tonight are John and Walter. Walter, you were playing in this game just 3 years ago. What effect do you think this news is going to have on the team?
I think it might have a positive effect, because what it's going to do is it's going to motivate the players and pull them closer together, simply because this is probably the biggest game of anyone's career, and to miss it, the rest of the players are really feeling sorry for it, so they probably want to win this one for him.
Well, John, we have an expectant crowd here right now.
It'll be a great game. Two of the best offensive minds in the country right now, Bill Walsh and Sam Weiss. They both like to develop quarterbacks. They're both renowned for developing quarterbacks. We've got two of the best with Boomer Esiason and Joe Montana. I look for an offensive display, an exciting game, a lot of points.
All right. Well, during the week, Miami has played host to many of the game's top stars. So we took the opportunity of asking them to compare and grade from 1 to 10 each team, position by position.
I think they're both great quarterbacks, and they both had Boomer's had an outstanding year all the way around, and I think as a player he deserves to be here. And also the fact that Montana, he's been so hot lately, and he's played very well over the last I would say 2 months of the season, and he's on a roll right now. To compare them, they're two different styles of quarterbacks. Boomer is the kind of guy where Cincinnati relies on the running game, and then he will use the play action to try to hit deep balls and have big plays throwing the football, whereas Montana is the other way around. They'll run the ball, but they use more of a controlled passing game and try to throw for just first downs, and not necessarily to try to hit the big play right off the bat. I would have to give them both a grade of 10 because of the accomplishments that they've had this year and to get to this game.
Well, I think San Francisco got a very good running game. I think with Craig and Rathman, who he's one of the finest blockers in the NFL, and with a running back like Roger Craig back there who can make a lot of big plays for you. I think you got to consider him as a game breaker. I give Craig a 10, and I give Rathman a 8. I think he's a fine football player, not just as a running back, but as a receiver. And I think for the Bengals, they got some exciting player with Ickey Woods, who right now has got more publicity for the Ickey Shuffler than I think Perry got for trying to run the ball. So I think I have to give him a 9. I think he's a great, tough running back. He's a big running back that can run. But I think the game breaker is Brooks. The guy can do so much. He's so quick. He averaged over 5 yards a carry, this year, and you got to consider him as one of the finest players in the NFL also. So I'm going to have to give him a 9.
They're pretty evenly matched, I think, on the offensive line. Both teams have really big people. They have a lot of 300-pounders in the offensive line. Bubba Parrish is a really big guy. He's been there for a long time. He's backing up now. And on the other side, they have Steve Wallace, and he's a third-year man, and he's having a really great year. And I think at the center position, they couldn't have a better guy there. That's in Randy Cross. He's played offensive guard, so he's played all up and down the line, so he knows what he wants to get done in the game. And Cincinnati, they have I think probably the best offensive line in the league at this time. They're playing really well together. They have really big people. And Anthony Munoz probably had the best year of all offensive linemen in the league. And if I had to give an edge, I guess I would give it to Cincinnati, and I would give them about a 9, and I would give San Francisco about an 8.
When you talk about receivers and between these two teams, you have to first talk about Jerry Rice. I think he is by far the premier receiver in the league at this point. Of course, last year he broke the record for touchdowns. I think he had 21 or 22. I can't remember. This year he's been bothered by injuries, but he's come on and done very well. On the other side of him is John Taylor, who comes in and do a good job. Also, Mike Wilson. So they have 3 good receivers. John and Mike are more so possession receivers. On the other hand, Cincinnati has 2 great receivers, in my opinion. Tim McGee, who I played with at the University of Tennessee, is a great possession-type receiver. He has receiving speed. It means he can get by you and get the long pass. And, of course, Eddie Brown has tremendous speed, and he led the league as far as yardage per catch and and yardage this year, and he made the Pro Bowl also. Montana and 49ers has to have a 10, and Boomer Esiason and Eddie Brown and Tim McGee is not far behind 9.5, 9 3/4 or something like that.
In Super Bowl VII, Miami's kicker Garo Upremium tried to salvage a bad snap and instead gave 7 points to the Redskins. Fortunately, the Dolphins still won, but Garo is always remembered for that one bad pass. How does he rate the kickers in Super Bowl 23?
Well, they're fairly even though Crawford with San Francisco is a rookie. He seems to have a stronger leg on the kickoffs, and of course on the field goals he's got more of a range. Breach on the other side has got experience on his side, and he has played in another Super Bowl, and he's got the experience backing him up. On his kickoffs, he's going to be a little bit shorter than Crawford, but I think that he's more consistent inside the 40-yard distance. I would say they're about 7.5. Both of them are about 7.5. Crawford a little bit less, like 7.
I think the 49ers defensive line is one that is well publicized, well noted. Michael Carter, their nose guard, is an All-Pro. He's been there 3 or 4 times, and I think he's a great motivator. He's very excited out on the field. I think someone who has come on that's kind of been in the shadows on their team is Charles Haley, who actually is a defensive lineman at 235 pounds, but he plays linebacker also. I'd grade them, 1 out of 10. I'd grade them about an 8.5. The Cincinnati Bengals, their line is a line that before this year was not very noted. Their nose tackle, again, is probably the heart and soul of their defensive line, and a guy named Crumline. He is very, very exciting. Made the Pro Bowl this year, well deserving of that. And I would have to give them, because they just started coming on this year, I give them about a 7.
I think they're basically equal. I think both play well within the scheme of their defense. I don't think anybody is outstanding. There's nobody to really write home about, but I think in the scheme of both defenses, the linebackers play well.
Well, in terms of talking about Cincinnati Bengals, I give them a grade of about a 6. And the reason why I'm not giving them a higher grade, although they've got a lot of interceptions, is the fact that they have won with an explosive offense, and the opposing team has always had to come from behind. That is, on every down they've had to put the ball in the air, and the Cincinnati Bengals defense has been able to come with a lot of interceptions. The 49ers, on the other hand, I give them a 9. With Ronnie Lott and the crew back there and the pressure that they get from the outside in terms of their defensive line, they play an aggressive style of football. And I think that if you talk about the 2 secondaries, the 49ers have the upper hand.
Well, this is the ultimate test. This is the master against the pupil. Of course, Bill Walsh is the master. He coached Sam White. Sam White coached under him, and now Sam White is coaching against the master. So in order to evaluate these coaches, you've got to understand a little bit about them. Bill Walsh has won 2 Super Bowls, so there's no question about it. He has much more experience than the pupil. The pupil, on the other hand, is a very creative young coach, and he went through some bad times last year, and there was a lot of talk in the National Football League about Paul Brown, the owner of the Cincinnati Bengals, firing Sam White because of the bad season. But Paul Brown, being a football man, knew that Sam was a good coach, and he wanted to give him 1 more year to see what he could do. And of course, this is the year that everything has come together for Sam White. And he's had an outstanding season. He's a very creative young coach. And the interesting part about this Super Bowl is that the master is not going to be outdone by the pupil. So I'm sure that Bill Walsh is thinking about all these creative things that Sam White does, and he's going to probably try to do them before Sam does it. I'm going to give the master a 10, a perfect 10, because he's won 2 Super Bowls. He knows what it's all about. But I'm going to give the pupil a chance in this ball game, so I'm going to give him about an 8.
So our poll gives San Francisco the edge, with the advantage being gained in the defensive position. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with our opinions on the game and the introduction of the starting lineup. So join us after this break. Welcome back. Let's now go down to the field for the introduction of the Bengals defense.
Cincinnati Bengals.
Now introducing the Bengals starting defensive unit from Nebraska. Left end, number 70, Jim Scow. From Wisconsin, nose tackle, number 69, Pro Bowler Tim Crumry. From Brigham Young, right end, number 99, Jason Buck. From Brigham Young, left outside linebacker, number 51, Leon White. From Tennessee, left inside linebacker, number 91, Carl Zander. From Washington, right inside linebacker, number 58, Joe Kelly. From Dartmouth, right outside linebacker, the councilman, number 57, Reggie Williams. From North Alabama, left cornerback, number 24, Lewis Billups. From Tulane, right cornerback, number 22, Eric Thomas. From Arizona State, strong safety, number 33, Pro Bowler David Fulcher. From Colorado, free safety, number 41, Solomon Wilcots. And the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals, Sam White. And now, the National Football Conference champion, San Francisco 49ers. Introducing the 49ers starting offensive unit from Delaware State, wide receiver, number 82, Pro Bowler John Taylor.
Let's go, Junior. Let's go, baby.
From Auburn, left tackle, number 74, Steve Wallace. From Hawaii, left guard, number 61, Jesse Sapolo.
Let's go.
From UCLA, center, number 51, Randy Cross. From Georgia, right guard, number 62, Guy McIntyre. From North Carolina, right tackle, number 79, Harris Barton. From Ohio State, tight end, number 86, John Frank. From Mississippi Valley State, wide receiver, number 80, Pro Bowler Jerry Rice. From Notre Dame, two-time Super Bowl MVP, quarterback number 16, Joe Montana. From Nebraska, running back number 44, Tom Rathman. And from Nebraska, running back number 33, Pro Bowler Roger Craig. The head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, Bill Walsh.
Well, as you can see, there's tremendous intensity down there on the field. John, we've been following both teams all week, preparing for this big game. What's your final prediction?
Well, I'm going for the Bengals. I think they're a team of destiny. They overcame a lot of adversity by coming back from 4-11 to 12-4 this year in a Super Bowl appearance. They've got an offense that can score on anybody, and a defense is playing their best football in the playoffs. So I'm going with the Bengals.
Right. Walter, how about you?
What do you expect from a kicker? The San Francisco 49ers are going to win simply because they've been this route before. They know what it takes to win. Cincinnati is playing on a lot of emotion. What happens when San Francisco scores on them, lets the air out of the balloon. I can see a high-scoring game by the 49ers winning.
All right, well, another kicker and another opinion. And again, I have to agree with John. I'm still staying with the Bengals. I think that their offensive line is too big for the defensive line of the 49ers. I think Brooks and Woods are going to get a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns. I think the variable is Boomer. Boomer has to have a good day. If Boomer has a good day, they get the passing game going, as well as the running game. The Bengals will win. I think it's going to be a close game. John, how about the two quarterbacks? How do you see them working today?
Well, Joe Montana obviously has got a lot of experience. He's the MVP in the last two Super Bowls, and he leads that 49ers team. They're a different team without him. Boomer leads their team, but Boomer is very versatile. He can do anything out there. He can run the ball. I give the edge in the running game to Boomer, but Joe Montana, if he clicks, he's tough.
Quarterbacks, Walter, you've done a little bit of running in this game. Tell us about the running game here.
Well, the running back situation is almost equal in terms of ability, but what you go again is you have the experience. The 49ers have the edge in the experience. And what he said, if Boomer has to start running around in the pocket, that means something is wrong. So that's why they're going to have trouble. I look at, with the running backs with the 49ers, they're taking it off.
All right. As you can hear, behind us, the crowd is going nuts. The one thing I want to note is the two coaches. I think we've got two great coaches. And Walsh is the teacher of White. Has the pupil done better than the teacher? We're going to find out in a few minutes. But right now, we're about to go down on the field. We're going to hear a bit of the crowd and what they're expecting, and we're going right into the American National Anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, to America.
and joined at the conclusion in a flyover by the 31st Tactical Wing from Homestead Air Force Base to perform our national anthem, Grammy and Ace Award winner, Billy Joel.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and
So the scene is set, and the Bengals and 49ers are ready for Super Bowl 23. So rejoin us for the kickoff in a couple of minutes. Welcome back. The 49ers will start with the ball, but now it's time to join our NBC commentators Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen for Super Bowl 23.
A left-footer. It's a left-footed game and a left-handed game for Cincinnati with their quarterback Boomer Esiason. John Taylor and Del Rogers will return for San Francisco. Taylor's the dangerous man of the two. He took 2 punts back for touchdowns during the regular season. And this Super Bowl 23 is underway. It's a short spinner to the 16-yard line, taken by Harry Sidney, and Sidney, an up back, has rolled out of bounds at the 27. And here comes the 49er offense led by Joe Montana, who was benched for a couple games during the course of the regular year. But what a Super Bowl player he's been. MVP both previous trips as he beat Cincinnati and Miami. And he was shooting 60% in both. And that's about his career average, over 63% completions. He loves to throw on first down. A reverse to Rice. And he's hit at the 32-yard line, a gain of about 5 or 6. Reggie Williams, the veteran linebacker, stayed at home for the tackle. So Bill Walsh, innovative, at times called a coaching genius, comes out with a reverse on first play.
Trying to take advantage of an over-eager and very emotional team. The Bengals, tremendous emotion as they were introduced just before this game.
Roger Craig, a gain of only 1 as he swarmed the Bengal defense led by Jason Buck, number 99. Well, you saw the mentor. And here's one of his prized pupils, Sam Weich. Weich, 44 years of age. was asked by Bill Walsh to come out of coaching retirement. He was down in South Carolina running some sporting goods stores to be his assistant coach with San Francisco, and was on the sidelines when the 49ers beat Cincinnati some 6 years ago. Mike Wilson, number 85, in the game. 3 wide receivers on 3rd and 4. Craig with a fine catch and a first down at the 42-yard line. Barney Bussey, an extra defensive back, made the tackle, and there's an injury on the play. One of the big offensive linemen, Steve Wallace, number 74.
One of the things that this San Francisco offensive line did early in the year was to stabilize itself with this man, number 74, Steve Wallace. Without him on the backside, Montana was very, very nervous and tended to want to get out of that pocket. If he is unable to play, that's a costly blow.
You see why Craig led all NFL running backs in catches. What a fine reception. That ball floating high and away. He speared it during the season, caught 76 balls. Second was Keith Byers, the Eagles running back, with 72. Now Wallace, the tackle, who beat out Bubba Paris at that position while they attend to the star out of Auburn University. Let's take our first break.
Yes.
So Montana's made a couple of quick passes, and Wolf's definitely mixing up. Walter, how do you see it starting up?
Well, like I said, if they could mix in the short passes with the running game, like getting the ball to Roger Craig out, that's just like a long handoff, and you see he picked up the first down, and as the game goes on, he's going to wear those defenders down. He's going to break a lot of tackles.
John, earlier we were talking about Coach Walsh in that first 25 plays. Tell us a little bit about that.
In that first 25 plays, it's funny because he likes to do a trick play in the first 10 plays, and he went and did it on the first play with a reverse to right. But what he likes to do is come into a game with 25 plays that he knows he's going to run, and it caters for trick plays, short yardage, long yardage, third downs, and he likes to know when he goes into the game exactly what he's going to do. And what he did was he studied Nelson and Wellington, the great English admirals and the Duke of Wellington.
Right now then, John, we've just got this play on the monitor. Let's have a look at it and you can talk us through it.
He drops back, fakes. Now here's the ball to Craig, and here comes Rice around the outside for a reverse. This surprises Cincinnati defense straight away. It's an unusual play for a first down. But Rice gained 5 yards.
So they're getting some yardage there. Now let's go back to our NBC commentators.
The left tackle, Steve Wallace, and of course with a right-handed passer, he's the man protecting the passer from the rush on the blind side, and it appears to be serious.
And as so often happens, Dick, it's actually one of his own players. 74 right in the middle of your screen. Jason Buck rushing, but watch Montana. Knocked down by Grant right into the leg. You saw the leg buckle.
Well, Montana, as he is hit on the pass rush, Wallace behind him gets caught almost like a clip in the open field, and certainly he was in no way expecting that, not prepared to brace himself against the blow.
Bubba Paris onto the field in that left tackle position now.
Bubba Paris, giant tackle, 6'6" and around 320. First down play, and Montana goes down. David Fulcher, number 33, the Pro Bowl safety. Well, his name may be David, but he's played like Goliath.
One of the players we'll have our cameras on all afternoon. Fulcher, more of a linebacker masquerading as safety than true strong safety. Very quick as he explodes in there. No one even touched him. And of course, he's coming over the top of Bubba Paris. You see an injury, and they go right to that side of the field with the blitz.
Montana barely touched, but in order to elude a rough hit from Fulcher, he had to get down. The first sack of the game, and here comes Craig on a sweep. Great blocking, and out of bounds he goes at the 42. Reggie Williams made the tackle. The first report from the 49er sidelines, Steve Wallace, sprained ankle.
Dick, one of the things we're going to have to see from the Cincinnati front today is excellent tackling. They are not a big front seven, and their linebackers in particular have missed a lot of tackles during the season. They need to perform admirably above their norm if they're going to win here today.
6 defensive backs for Cincinnati on 3rd and 10. And a mix-up as Montana had trouble taking the snap from center. And Bill Walsh's team does not start well. And Leo Barker, 53, and Jesse Sapolo, 61. Talking more than about their vacation plans.
At last play, Montana pulling out early from under the center, Randy Cross. Boy, they're lucky they got that football back.
Now the punt by Barry Helton, end over end and short. That ball almost touched Bengal in the back of the legs, and of course would have been live for San Francisco. Out of bounds at the 26. It'll be Cincinnati and Boomer Esiason starting from the 26-yard line.
Welcome back. So, Walter, Bengals defense have been told they're the weak link. Bam, they've come out on the field. They're dominating right now. Tell us what happened just now.
Yeah, a lot of times you can take the first series of plays and you can determine the way the game is going to come out. And the magnitude of a game like this is hard to say because the players that come out and they're really intense and they're really tight about what they're doing. I think the 49ers did good because what they did, they got the ball in their own end. They moved, they got a first down and had some plays, had them off guard, and then they ended up punting. The key thing will be if the Cincinnati Bengals can do the same and move the ball down. If they don't get a first down the first play or first series, then they're in trouble.
Well, right now, let's go back to the field. Boomer at the 26-yard line.
From the tight end in motion, Esiason to Eddie Brown. First down at the 43-yard line. 17 on the pickup. Esiason with talk of Cincinnati. Ickey Woods and his touchdown shuffle. James Brooks, he is one that the 49ers are concerned about. Tim McGee and Eddie Brown, the wide receivers, and Rodney Holman, a tight end. Big line, Munoz, Reimers, Kozerski, Montoya, and Blados. They average around 290. That's Brown in motion. And Ickey Woods first carry. And Woods gains about 8 yards to midfield. Veteran Keena Turner, 58, made the tackle along with Ronnie Lott. There's Turner, who played at Purdue.
Quick look at Ickey Woods' first opportunity in the game. And he did here what he did so effectively in the 2 other playoff games. Picked up fine yardage on the cutback.
Look at 65, Montoya, that right guard. He's the one who throws the key block. And then Woods cuts in behind it. 2nd and 2. Brooks on a reverse. It doesn't fool Jeff Fuller. No gain. Fuller, the strong safety, number 49, a big play. Defensively, the 49ers joining Fuller. We'll give you that defensive lineup in just a moment. Now, one of the things that throws us off rhythm is that quick huddle of Cincinnati's, and that's why sometimes we may be a little slow in getting to a replay or giving you information because we don't want to get trapped by that quick huddle, that attack huddle of Cincinnati. Here's the first example.
One of the things that we were going to be keeping an eye on today with Gordon Wells, the umpire, stand over that football and wait until substitutes were out on the field.
motion on 3rd and 3. Woods plowing to a first down at the San Francisco 43. Charles Haley comes up pushing and shoving. Now the defense for the 49ers. Roberts, Michael Carter, Pro Bowler on the nose, Kevin Fagan. A linebacker, Charles Haley, he's going to the Pro Bowl. Fawnhorse, Michael Walter, the leading tackler, and veteran Keena Turner. Tim McKyer and Don Griffin, who held out at the start of the year. In fact, they were offered for trade by Walsh. And they're joined by two great safeties, Ronnie Lott and Jeff Fuller. Two tight ends for Cincinnati. First down at the 49er 44. Woods again, no, play action. And Boomer, incomplete to Rodney Holman. Michael Walter was there. And Walter would have had him for a loss had he caught the ball. It was Haley applying the pressure on Esiason.
That particular play, extremely dangerous. It's called sellout play action. It looks exactly like a running play. Boomer, a good job of handling the ball. Only one receiver downfield.
You say sellout, in other words, you're saying all the other players are blocking as if that's really a run. There's nothing fake about that.
You're attacking the strength of the defense, their ability to react, and you show them run all the way, only one receiver out, and then you try and get deep. They've scored often on that play this year.
It was Eddie Brown deep, but he was covered by two men. Second down, Woods. And the rookie from University of Nevada, Las Vegas, each carry has handed a handsome result to the Bengals. He gets 5 on that one.
Here's the hurry-up offense. They're right back to the line. Now, let's see how long they'll hold. San Francisco not sending the subs onto the field. So Esiason will take his time here. And this is what the attack offense is designed to do. They're saying, we don't want you to get all your subs onto the field. San Francisco obliging in this case.
Third down and 5. 45-second clock at 6. Incomplete. Tim McGee, the intended receiver. Jeff Fuller was there for San Francisco. And here comes the kicking team on for Cincinnati. And punter Lee Johnson.
McKyer up late to cover McGee. Ball in a hard position to catch, and McGee is lucky he didn't get hurt on that play.
The line of scrimmage, the 39-yard line, so that would mean the field goal out in the 50. So Lee Johnson in the punt. John Taylor, dangerous return man, and Terry Greer, both with plenty of speed, are deep. Brady snapped. You saw a good catch by Johnson. And downed inside the 5. Ray Horton got the big bounce, and the 49ers will start from their 3-yard line. No score, 8:16 left in the first quarter.
6 yards by Lee Johnson.
Coming back.
All right, welcome back here. Walter, in that drive we saw Boomer stepping back and the commentator saying some play action. Maybe we're going to get that on the monitor. Let's explain to the guys back in Great Britain what's happening right here.
Okay, what play action is, Icky has been running the ball real well, so that means the defense has got a key in because he's a threat. He's been kind of 4 or 5 yards. So he fakes like they're handing it off to him because he's been doing it before. He's had success. So the defense converges on him. Everybody thinks, run, we got to stop Icky. But Boomer still has the ball. He looks for a receiver. But what the key thing is, San Francisco's defense are man-to-man on everybody. So that means there was nobody open. So that means Boomer has to scramble and eventually throws the ball to keep from getting a sack. But play action, if they can keep getting 3 and 4 yards from Icky on the run, it's going to be a real threat to the San Francisco 49ers because they got a key run before they play pass, and they might get burned deep for a touchdown.
John, the Bengals moving the ball well. You think they can keep that up? They are, and they keep running to the right side of the San Francisco defense too, over Fagan, Walter, and Keena Turner. Seems like they think there's a weakness there, and Montoya who's a great drive blocker. He loves to run for he loves to block for the run, and he's just blowing off the line, and they're getting a lot of movement there.
Walter, Icky's really running the ball well. Can he keep that up?
Yes, he can, because he's got that offensive line that's really blowing people off the ball, and he can continue to get his momentum going. He's going to be a real threat for this game.
Well, the 49ers are deep in their own territory. Steve Wallace has got a twisted ankle. Let's see if the defense of the Bengals takes advantage of that.
Capricious winds here at Joe Robbie Stadium, and look at this snap go sailing, and Lee Johnson does a great job of catching the ball, and even better at placing it inside the 5, where Montana starts at the 3. No score midway first quarter. Roger Craig out to the 11-yard line, and Tim Crumry slow getting up for Cincinnati, and he's not up yet. Oh, now, of all the players, Merlin Olsen, on defense that Cincinnati could not afford to lose. There it is, 69.
He does such a great job of protecting those linebackers and keeping those blockers off the linebackers. That kind of flow and that kind of aggressiveness up front, maybe we can see what happens to him. 69, middle of your screen, working on Randy Cross. And, of course, they've got an extra blocker, Sapolo, 61 on him. It's at the end of the play. Hard to see what happened to him.
There's Craig, and you'll see Crumry come into the picture, and it's more like a whiplash kind of move, and it threw his leg onto the turf.
It's amazing how much energy is generated when you are twisted that way, almost whipped around. It's like a crack the whip kind of situation, and that is ugly news for the Cincinnati Bengal defense.
They bring out the cart. Sam Weiss, of course, realizes this be like losing your starting quarterback, Esiason. You don't replace a guy like Crumry, do you?
Not hard to read what was going on in his head at that moment. Oh my God, what do we do now?
Another angle.
Now watch the whip action, and ooh, the leg turned right over. Wow.
We won't try to speculate, but as soon as we hear official word, we can give you an update on Steve Wallace, injured in the very first series. Oh, that is a bad sign, and we understand that Wallace fractured an ankle. Obviously, he won't return, and when they put on that device, it appears that Crumry has suffered something very serious.
They're stabilizing the leg. They'll blow that splint up as they hold the foot and the leg in place.
Crumry, it appeared at first, Merlin, he tried to stick out a foot to trip him up and then was off balance.
Here it is. We can watch it, Dick. Crumry going across, and stop it right there. Watch the leg. You can see that the ankle has buckled underneath, and it looks like the leg absolutely breaks right at that point. Oh, that is... Ooh, and look at the foot. Ah. I don't think we want to see that one again.
Yeah, that we saw something like that a year ago in gymnastics over in Rotterdam.
Reminiscent of Joe Theismann's injury to his leg.
Yes.
Now, and two outstanding players already sidelined in this Super Bowl.
There's a case of Crumry, a great player, perhaps trying to do too much. He was sticking his leg out first, off balance, and then the injury results. Timeout.
So very clearly, we have a broken leg, it seems. John, what sort of effect is that going to have on the Bengals defense?
Well, Crumry is the leader of this defense. The defense is built around Crumry and Fulcher. He's an all-pro nose tackle. His job is to just block up the middle, just take away the offensive center, take two players and make enough room for the running backs. I mean, for the linebackers to make the tackle. He leads the team in tackles this year. He really is the emotional leader as well as the physical leader on this team. He's tremendously strong, quick, and it's a big blow to this defense.
It really is one of the saddest things you can see on television, a player being taken away on a stretcher. And it's not especially when it's one of your great players, but as a coach, that's how you feel. Walter, How will they now take advantage of that, the 49ers?
49ers, what they're going to do, they're going to attack that side, I would think, would be the best thing to do, because you lose a player like that, then that means the linebackers have got to play heads-up football, which normally they hadn't had to play it that way because they had this guy up front that was taking away a lot of the pressure off of it. Now more pressure is added to them. Now Walsh should take it right at it, because with Craig and the fullback rapidly that they have back there, they have the players to take advantage of that injury.
John, do you think White will be affected by this?
Oh, he definitely will. I mean, the emotion, he's going to have to get the emotion going on the sideline and try and get somebody else to pick up the slack for the defense.
Well, let's now go back to our NBC commentators.
Chuck Knox, the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks, echoing the feelings of many of the coaches around the NFL that Crumry is one of the really great players, and certainly the key, as we mentioned early in our pregame show, to the Cincinnati defense.
And with him out of that defense, there's a domino effect that impacts so many other players. That is a huge, huge loss to Cincinnati.
Sam Weiss seemed to know immediately that it wasn't just a minor injury.
He's saying, come on up, get up, baby. But it's not going to happen.
So Steve Wallace fractures an ankle on the third play of the Super Bowl, and on just the 14th play of the game, Tim Crumry suffers a serious injury. We have 8:06 left in this first quarter. And one must wonder now, it's a very dry field here, natural grass. That is rather extraordinary to have two such serious injuries so quickly. 2nd and 2, Montana at his 11. Right through where Crumry normally would be. And that'll be close to a first down as Reggie Williams applies the hit on Montana. David Grant, a rookie from West Virginia, number 98, has replaced Crumry.
Right in the center of your screen, and he is perhaps the strongest, in fact, is the strongest of the defensive linemen. But what you lose in there is experience and pass rush ability, and of course, the leadership that Tim Crumry provides to that defense.
Crumry getting a hand from the fans as he passes down at the far end of the field, going back to the locker room. And a man who is so incredibly competitive. It's a first down, San Francisco. They say get out of his way, just getting off the bus. What a, you work so hard to get here. This is the supreme moment, and now it's lost for him. Fractured left leg, tibia is the first report. That's the big bone of the lower leg is the report we get. Montana underneath. Tight end John Frank at the 21-yard line, a gain of about 8 yards.
We talked about keeping Montana out of rhythm. The Cincinnati defense were able to do that in the first series. You see what's happening now as Montana begins to get things flowing here. And, of course, that will be easier with Crumry out of the lineup.
Well, they thought that Cross would need help from the guards to stop Crumry. Now Cross, the veteran center, playing his last game, may be able to handle the rookie. Jerry Rice, and a first down at the 33. Rice, what an incredible star he has become. In 4 years in college, he caught 51 touchdowns at Mississippi Valley State. You say, well, Mississippi Valley State, fine school, but small university program. But in 4 years in the NFL, Rice has caught 49 touchdowns. 100 touchdowns in 8 years. 4 in college, 4 in the NFL. Over the head of John Taylor, Lewis Phillips on the coverage, and a flag is down.
Harris Barton ended up without a helmet on that play, and a penalty will go against Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, roughing the passer, Montana. So instead of 2nd and 10, it's this.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, roughing the passer, number 98, throw to the head, first down.
David Grant, the man replacing Tim Crumroy.
Throw the flag. Boy, you got no business taking the elbow to the head of the quarterback. You got to put the flag down on that one.
Oh, first down at the 48-yard line. Crumroy lined up against Randy Cross. Here comes Roger Craig. Out of bounds at the 41-yard line. And let's see, now they say now he stepped out closer to the 43. That'll be just shy of a first down.
We talked about Tim Crumroy playing sideline to sideline. Now, most nose tackles play in the phone booth, and Grant obviously about 4 steps short. I think Tim Crumroy would have been out ahead of that block and would have been there and been a part of that tackle.
It's like a free down for Montana. He gives to Rathman, the big fullback, part of that Husker back attack. Jim Scow, who played at Nebraska with Rathman, made the tackle. He's number 70 for Cincinnati.
You've got to know which of those San Francisco backs you're tackling. Roger Craig, you want to tackle high because he'll kick those legs through otherwise. Rathman, you go high on him, he'll break your head off. You got to tackle him down low.
Oh, San Francisco, starting from their 3-yard line, now has a first down at the 40. Rathman, and this time David Grant, the nose tackle, fills in for Crumroy, and Reggie Williams, the 13-year veteran from the Ivy League in Dartmouth, is there to help out.
Well, let's see how David Grant does just quickly. Pops around the backside. That's not the way you learn to play the game, but it's effective in this case because Randy Cross, I think, was set for somebody who would play like Crumroy, which is playing across the head. Grant ran around the block and made the tackle.
That ball was floating in the air. John Taylor and Eric Thomas doing a dance downfield. Solomon Wilcox was there as well.
This is a touch pass. We talked about the effect of the wind on the Montana pass. This one looks like it needs to be fair caught. But it also appears that there may have been, well, when I first saw it, I thought there was a lot of bumping, but I don't see it in that replay.
And in fact, Eric Thomas almost had the ball land in his lap.
There's a hand on the shoulder. There was contact. There was contact in that replay.
Instant replay does not correct any penalty opportunity. Montana gets away to Rathman. And Rathman has a first down at the 23-yard line.
One of the things that has marked Joe Montana as a great quarterback is his ability to improvise, to make something out of nothing. Most quarterbacks would have been dead in that situation. He keeps his cool and stays in rhythm and gets the big play.
On 3rd and 10, Montana to Rathman, 17 yards. First down at the Bengal 24. 4 minutes left, first quarter, no score. Montana to Wilson at the 2-yard line. Mike Wilson from Washington State, number 85. A good play action and that slant in the seam by Wilson.
So very difficult when you can break away on that first move. The bump was not there. No chance for Billups. And of course the safety Wilcox is late as well.
Here's another angle. Was he in control?
We may see an official want to take a look at that one, and they're standing over it saying, wait a minute, wait just a minute.
He does not have control. See, the ball has not been cradled yet. No, that's an incomplete pass. And the replay officials.
Ball on the ground.
And meanwhile, as you're watching the replay, the players are looking at the big screen television in the stadium, looking at the same thing. They're saying, no, that's not a catch.
And both coaches as well looking up and doing some cheerleading.
Well, how would you call it if you were the replay official?
I don't think it was a catch.
I don't either. But we haven't always been right with that instant replay, have we?
Well, it's in the hands of the replay officials at this moment. Chuck Everling,
former referee in the NFL. He's not locked in that position. That's just a freeze frame.
I think he's pretty busy right at this moment.
Well, that way you're not going to see it from that side because his body shields him. But I think we saw enough from the other angles that he never had control of the ball. Even his reaction indicated he didn't think he caught it.
Ball kind of bouncing off of him, and then remember the definition of a catch, both feet on the ground.
The covering official ruled the pass was complete, down by contact. After further review by instant replay, it is determined that he never controlled the ball. We have an incomplete pass. Back.
You know what? I think we've got a whole audition system for the next round of NFL announcers, the way this instant replay and the referee's microphone is working out. Jerry Seaman with a complete call. So we play it over, 2nd and 10 at the 24. No score. 3:31 left, opening quarter. Over the middle, incomplete. Through the hands of Roger Craig. It'll be 3rd and 10. In case you're just joining us, 2 tragic pieces of news in this first quarter. 2 starting players lost with fractures. Steve Wallace, the starting left tackle for the 49ers, an ankle fracture, and Tim Crumry, the Pro Bowl nose tackle of Cincinnati, a broken leg. The last 3rd and 10, Montana converted to Rathman on a little ad-lib. That's Wilson in motion. Montana. Incomplete to Rice. And that will bring on Mike Kofer from North Carolina State. In his first year as the place kicker for San Francisco. He beat out the veteran Ray Wersching at the start of the year. And this first one will be around 41, 42 yards. Kofer on the year made 27 of 38. His longest 52 yards. You see he's had very little opportunity in the playoffs. 2 games, only 1 try. And that was that placement on the fair catch of a punt. 60 yards. 42 yards. Down the middle, and San Francisco takes the early lead, 3-0. Officially 41 yards, and Sam Weiss on that instant replay call saved 4 points.
He's looking up at the monitor. Let's see what he says. What? Are you kidding me? The official on the spot said that the receiver was down by contact before the ball came loose. Instant replay said, in essence, no catch. There was no control, therefore the ball comes back.
That was a rather incredible drive of over 5 minutes. It started at the 49er 3-yard line, included the injury on the first play to Crumry, his loss to Cincinnati the rest of the day. Then a instant replay reversal that denied Bill Walsh a 1st and goal at the 2, and finally settling for the 41-yard field goal by Kofer.
Special teams have a special wristband in this game, the Bruise Crew. Lynn Stiles has a little recognition for his troops out on the field.
Kickoff by Kofer. Stanford Jennings will take the touchback. 1st down at the 20. That's one of the reasons Kofer beat out Wersching, his strength of leg on kickoffs. Remember, he was kicking with the prevalent wind. The team that scored first has lost the last 4 Super Bowls, but Overall, in the previous 22, the team that has scored first has won 15 and lost 7. Denver last year jumped out 10-0. James Brooks gets his first call out to the 22 or 3-yard line. Short yardage as they ran in behind Brian Blados.
On the tackle, number 91, Larry Roberts.
Dick LeBeau, defensive coordinator for this Bengal team, talking to his troops about what they're going to have to do to shut down Walsh's offense.
I understand they're taking, if you listen to LeBeau, Tim Crumry by helicopter to the hospital. He suffered fractures to both bones of the lower leg, the tibia and fibula. Much like Tim Daggett's injury over at Rotterdam, the great U.S. gymnast. Ickey Woods picks up a first down across the 30 and takes the umpire with him. Jeff Fuller made the tackle, number 49.
San Francisco's defense doing a lot of jumping around just before the snap. And of course, one of the key players in this whole puzzle, Jeff Fuller, number 49. Look how he's running up just at the snap of the ball. Of course, taking away the pre-snap read by the offensive quarterback, Boomer Esiason, but didn't help much there as Ickey Woods found some room to run and picked up the first down. And Dick, one of the things that this Bengal offense has done, they've started quick in the playoffs. 35 of their 42 points in the playoffs in the first half.
Down to the final minute 35 of the first quarter. Woods again, his 5th carry. Oh, is he hit? What a pop by Ronnie Lott, the veteran from Southern California. Now there is a man who has made his living making tackles like that for 8 great years with the 49ers.
I tell you, you hear that kind of shot. Lott has knocked himself out a half a dozen times making that kind of tackle.
And he's giving over 30 pounds away on that hit. First time that the 49ers have stopped Ickey Woods. He had carried 4 times for 28 yards prior to that gain of only 1. Esiason on the roll. And incomplete. Jim Riggs, the tight end, the intended receiver. Nose tackle Michael Carter applying pressure. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
You're watching the 7th consecutive Super Bowl here on Channel 4.
Joe Robbie Stadium, Super Bowl 23. Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. San Francisco 49ers leading 3-0. Final seconds, first quarter. It is 3rd and 9. And a long 8, nearly 9 yards. Lott slipping up to the line of scrimmage. Esiason down the middle, almost intercepted by Lott. He moved up to the line, and then when the snap was made, drifted back and almost picked it off.
Ronnie Lott is one of the smartest defensive players in the NFL. He plays that spy position so well. Just watching, he sneaks up inside. They think he's going to blitz. No, he's not. Dropping back, reading the quarterback. He knew exactly where that ball was going to go. What great anticipation from that Pro Bowl safety.
Lee Johnson to punt. Dangerous John Taylor at the other end. Great kick. Showing you the shiftiness of foot, clever spins, and almost worked his way free. Leo Barker, 53, made the tackle. 48-yard punt, 10 yards on the return.
Punt is 48 yards. 1st and 10, Cincinnati at the 30.
Piloting the airship for today's game is Captain Mike Fitzpatrick from Newport, Rhode Island. Looking down into this jewel box, Joe Robbie Stadium. 75,000 fans. Final seconds, first quarter. Montana to Rice. One-handed catch. catch. Oh, my. Is he inbounds? Lewis Billups there, and Rice, a dazzling play. A first down at the 45-yard line.
Rice answering those people who were asking about his ankle. Bill Walsh held Rice out of practice 2 days earlier in this week. Injured ankle. Some said smoke screen. Well, perhaps so. Rice already an effective receiver, but he didn't catch that with his ankle. What a grab.
Brilliant player, drafted in the first round by the 49ers in '85. To this side it comes to Craig, eludes two men. And finally brought down by Fulcher at the Cincinnati 46. 8 more yards. And that probably the last play of this opening quarter. So 15 minutes have been played, and the 49ers, driving for more, have the early lead 3-0.
Welcome back to the start of the second quarter. The 49ers have the ball at their own 46-yard line. Montana will take the snap.
Roger Craig on the first play of the second quarter needed only 1.5 yards for a first down. Gets more than that. And the 49ers have it now at the Cincinnati 41. Of course, the result of Crumrye's injury, as you look at his replacement, David Graham, is that Montana has had time. You said earlier, Merlin, one of the keys to the game to take Montana out of his rhythm. And when Crumrye was in there that first series, they did that. Not since.
Not since. And the other thing that is really serious for you defensively, Montana has had all kinds of time to throw the football.
He throws deep. Rice is wide open. Out of bounds at the 11-yard line. David Fulcher was applying pressure. That left single coverage.
Man-to-man, when you blitz and you isolate on a great receiver like this with one person, you're just asking for this to happen. In patterns like this, I don't think anyone can cover Jerry Rice man-to-man.
Solomon Wilcox came over to save a touchdown. The ball is right on the 10-yard line. They have the full 10 to go. Rathman, he stopped after a 1-yard pickup. Reggie Williams has played a big first half thus far. Another tackle with a 3-time All-Ivy League star.
Bill Walsh would love to get out to a quick lead here, because he knows that this Bengal team is not a come-from-behind team. If you can get out there, get some quick points on them, build the lead early, they have not been able to come back from that during the season.
Ball on the 9-yard line, second down. They can conceivably make a first down without scoring a touchdown. Montana had John Frank angling from his tight end position, but under pressure could not find his receiver. It's third and a long 8.
Montana upset about something. Bill Walsh calling those first 25 plays offensively off a script, a preset script. And what he'll use those plays to do is to evaluate the responses of the defense. How do they cover motion? What do they do in placement of personnel against these various formations? He files that information away and will use it later in the ballgame.
4 wide receivers for San Francisco. And it's Rathman. What a call. They bring in 4 wide receivers and then just give it to the big fullback right up the middle. And it appeared for a moment he was on his way for 6, Rathman, who was finally stopped by 2 defensive backs, Orton and Fulcher. It's 4th down inside the 2. 4th down and a long yard for a first down. And less than 2 for a touchdown.
Bill Walsh apparently is going to go for it on 4th down here. Well,
in Super Bowl 19 in Pontiac. Remember, it was a goal line defense by San Francisco in the third quarter that may have decided the game. Now it's the Bengals' call.
So Walden, right now we've just seen Rice make 2 big catches from Montana. Did Montana do something to set that all up?
What he's done is he's the defensive backs, he's lulled them to sleep because he's been hitting the short passes to Craig and Jerry Rice, and what the defenders are doing, they're getting fixed. So they come up and they want to play him man-to-man, and they play loose on him. If you do that against Jerry Rice, he's going to beat you because he has the speed and the athletic ability to catch the ball under pressure. You see, the guy is closed on the ball good, but what happens is, because of his tremendous athletic ability, he holds on to the ball. So what they got to do is they got to play a little bit more zone, let him catch the balls underneath, and when he comes up, make him pay for it.
John, the big decision right now. 4th down, 2 yards, or 1 yard to go. What are you going to do?
I'd kick, but I'm a kicker. I want those 3 points.
What do you think he's going to do, Walter?
I think what he's going to do is, what I would go for the touchdown, because if I don't score the touchdown, then Cincinnati was either on the 1 or the 2 yard line, and they've not been moving the ball well. Put a little bit more added pressure on them. You get the ball, you can bring it back up. If you don't get that close again, you kick a field goal within 20, 25 yards.
I think I agree with you, Walter. I think I'd go for it. The 49ers are moving the ball so well that it looks like they've got momentum. But it looks like Walsh has decided to kick it. So, John, you can take Walsh's job next year.
That's right. He's a brain. He's an offensive brain. But when it comes to kicking, I think...
down there, and they don't want to come away empty. So Kofer apparently is on for a field goal try, a short one of about 19 yards.
Sam White had a call like that in a game against Seattle a few weeks ago. Elected to go for it on a 4th and 2 yards. Said later that if he had known it was that far, he wouldn't have gone for it. Of course, that would have iced that game, and it later proved to be a point, although they did not get back into the ball game.
Kofer to kick. Pelton, the punter, is the holder. Oh, bad snap. And he misses to the left. The snap or the hold, confused. They weren't able to spot it, and Kofer hooks it wide to the left. Chuck Thomas, the snapper. And so now Walsh will have to second guess himself as he goes to the man who snapped the ball. They come away empty from the 2-yard line. Boy, is that. So it remains 3-0. 2 minutes gone, second quarter. Esiason to Brown, incomplete. Defensive play by Don Griffin from Middle Tennessee State, number 29. His brother played 3 years, James, with Cincinnati as a defensive back. Esiason's numbers were not good down the stretch. After a brilliant start passing the ball and leading the NFL, how do you look at him throwing so far, Mullen?
He's had the ball pretty well on target, Dick, and it looks like he's throwing with pretty good velocity.
He's missed the last 5 in a row. Ricky Woods gains only a couple.
I think you've got to credit a lot of those misses to some fine defensive hits and some good defensive plays. On that last play, for example, it was just great coverage.
Michael Walter, 99, and Michael Carter, 95, collaborated on the tackle.
Walter coming off his best year ever, an impact player. In fact, Bill Walsh talking about his best 2 defensive players. Walter's name is 1, along with Michael Carter. But I'll tell you, Koszerski has done a fine job on Michael Carter so far in this ballgame.
The center, Bruce Koszerski, against Carter. That's a key matchup. 3rd down and long. Esiason to Brown, short of the first down. Ronnie Lott makes the hit at the 28-yard line.
Now, how can you end up short of the first down? You know what you got to get to pick up this first down. Esiason did his part. Eddie Brown not playing that one very smart.
Lott is just that, a lot of football player. Lee Johnson to punt. He's had a couple of good kicks. John Taylor at the 29 of San Francisco. Beautiful spiral up in that wind, floating away from Taylor. He picks it up dangerously and then breaks through the pack, and now he has an open field. 30, one man to beat, Horton, and Horton gets him out of bounds at the 47 of Cincinnati. What a play by Taylor. It appeared he was making a mistake by picking up the ball that had floated away from him, and then he ran right through the Bengal team.
I think sometimes a player who has obviously done something that they know is going to bring the wrath of the coach down upon them, and I think that's what happens here. He misjudges this football. There's a surge of adrenaline through his body right at this moment. But he looked back. He knew he had a little time.
Not much.
So dangerous to reach down and grab that football. Very often that play backfires on you. But here, it proves to be a big plus for San Francisco.
Now the 49ers leading 3-0, get a big return of 45 yards on a 63-yard punt. And then Harry Sidney falling on the ball back at the 44-yard line. Sidney a backup to Tom Rathman.
Dangerous play, Dick. It's a lateral. He throws this back out. It might have been a double pass, but Fulcher right there on top of it. If Sidney doesn't get down on that football, Fulcher is going to scoop it up, and that would be a big turnover for Cincinnati.
9-yard loss, 2nd and 19. Montana goes down at the 42. Jason Buck. David Grant also there, and Grant down around the ankles. Made a little move. They might have had a stunt on.
Well, if David Grant can grow into the big shoes left vacant when Tim Crumry had to leave the field, that will be one of the big stories of this ball game. He did a good job of getting around the center on that one, and Randy Cross trying to scramble with him didn't do his job very well on that play.
3rd down and 21. Craig, 50, fumbles, and Cincinnati's Jim Scow recovers at the 41-yard line.
And you saw Sam White saying snake eyes. They'll come right out. They'll run the play without a huddle. He said, we stung them once, let's sting them again, and they'll have a play all set for this situation.
Craig with some brilliant high-kicking running, that patented style of his, breaking into the open and trying perhaps for too much, and that was Fulcher who applied the hit. And Fulcher, the Pro Bowler, has had a big game. Chris Collinsworth, the veteran wide receiver who played down this part of the country, University of Florida, makes the catch out at the 47-yard line. So the first turnover of the game to Cincinnati. And at this point, just judging what we felt and seen, Merlin, the 49ers, you would figure would be up by a considerable score, but it's a 3-0 game.
Very dangerous to have so much opportunity and to only have 3 points on the board.
On 2nd and 4, James Brooks. First down at the San Francisco 42. Lott and Fuller, 2 safeties, make the stop. First down, Cincinnati. Brooks with a 10-yard pickup.
Pulling both the right guard and tackle, Munoz and Reimer, 78-75. Big hit over there by Munoz. And Brooks, if you give him room inside, one of the quickest backs in the NFL.
He still has happy feet. Who wouldn't be happy behind a guy like Munoz? Trailing 3-0. Esiason. Good protection. Oh, throws into a crowd. McGee had 4 men on him. There were 4 red shirts within 3 yards of McGee. And Esiason drilled it in, lucky to be incomplete.
Look at the excellent protection by the offensive line here. Look at the amount of time he has back there. Nobody in the picture yet. Nobody there. Nobody there. Finally, Roberts, number 91, into the picture. But, Boomer, you get that much time, you've got to find somebody and get him the ball, my friend.
And he elected to throw to McGee, who was blanketed. 2nd and 10. Threw it away. He wanted Collinsworth on the out and up, but that isn't what developed. Larry Roberts did, number 91, and he was in the face of Esiason.
Just looking at McGee down there, you remember early in the ball game he took a hit on his knee, and I said he was lucky not to be hurt. I think he may have hurt that knee a little bit. There he is. He looks to be limping a little bit. And, of course, he's the fastest of those wide receivers, and a leg injury is very critical to the speed receiver.
Charles Haley and Danny Stubbs, who played at the University of Miami, a rookie, picked in the 2nd round by San Francisco, finally gets the sack. Larry Roberts was in there, Greg Cox, who comes in on the nickel package, and Esiason had no time.
The 49ers roll 6 defensive linemen in and out of the game. They always have fresh-legged, fast pass rushers in there, and Stubbs has come on as one of the best of them. He was there to take Esiason down.
Now Cincinnati again unable to move the ball deep enough for a score, and Johnson's kick. These are dangerous, and Taylor says, I'm going to fair catch at the 11-yard line. So timeout. Super Bowl 23, midway through the 2nd quarter, and it's the 49ers leading by a field goal.
Super Bowl 23 is brought to you.
So there's a big crowd here in Miami, and they're enjoying a great game. This is one of the best Super Bowls I've seen. What do you think, Walter?
Well, I think the one in 1985.
Boomer Esiason has not had a good first half. The 49ers lead 3-0, and they start from just outside the 10 with Roger Craig, who is twisted down at the 12. David Fulcher again. He played at Arizona State. They call him the Rock, and at 6'3" and 228, that is a hunk of granite indeed in that secondary for the Bengals. Well, the 2nd and 3rd periods, if you're an AFC fan, you might as well go out and take a walk. Look at that, 116-6. The NFC has outscored the AFC in the last 4 games in the 2nd and 3rd periods. A little wide of Roger Craig is Montana, and there's no question, Merlin, the wind is affecting those passes to the sidelines.
They are fluttering. Esiason has been icing down his right hand, and of course that's not his throwing hand. He had a finger partially dislocated and damaged earlier in the playoffs, and they say that is not a problem now. There's David Fulcher. Boy, that's a big safety, I'll tell you that.
Montana dumps it off to Craig. And Craig has a first down, I believe. It's going to be very close. Barker and Bussey. Now, let's see where they spotted. Boy, that's going to be a measurement. Right at the 20-plus, and that's where he had to go. What a weapon Craig is out of that backfield. As you mentioned so often, just a long handoff. Just get him someplace in the open, and with his running talent, let him go.
Part of Walsh's philosophy is to spread that defense with pass patterns and then get the ball to a running back. And of course, at that point, you've got everybody stretched out. You've got room to run.
And another 4 downs for the 49ers. That was a big play for Cincinnati's defense. A chance to force the 49ers to punt and get pretty good field position. But Montana to Craig. And that melody has been a happy one for San Francisco fans. Craig.
Vulture, what a great play again. We keep mentioning his name. Boy, I tell you, Goliath, he is pumped up. At one point earlier in the season, they didn't want to put him on the scales. He was heavier than Jim Scow, the defensive end. He was over 245. Scow was under 245. There he is, 33. Middle of your screen on 33. And he gets him down.
You've got to be big and strong to get Craig, who has those powerful legs on those cutbacks. 2nd and 10. Montana. And John Frank, the tight end, fighting off one tackle. Joe Kelly missed him, and a flag is down.
David Grant made a fine move inside on Randy Cross. Might have been Cross trying to save the sack on Montana.
You see backup quarterback Steve Young, number 8. Total offense, the best of the best. These are the top 2 teams in the NFL.
Number 51 offense. Still 2nd down.
Penalty was against Cross. You see Woods, his share of the pie for the Bengals. And now Craig. Look at that. 2,036 yards rushing and receiving for Craig. He has been so critical to San Francisco's success. At the University of Nebraska, Craig was a backup to Jarvis Redwine and Heisman winner Mike Rozier. 49ers knew about him. They picked him in the 2nd round. Skip McClendon, who starred at Arizona State. He lost his starting job late in the year. Been in a passing situation. He's a light tackle. They say he's light at 275, if he's that.
He made a fine play there. And when someone goes down, when Tim Krumrie went down, you knew that players in that defense had to say to themselves, what are we going to do now? I've got to reach down and get something extra. McClendon did that on that play. Grant is doing it. This defense playing pretty heads-up football at this moment.
Montana with a screen to Craig. And a flag down as Craig goes down at the 13-yard line. 5 yards if. Jerry Seaman will sort out the call. Ricky Dixon was in on the tackle. Number 1 draft pick of Cincinnati. Against the 49ers, undoubtedly to be declined by Cincinnati.
Pass interference, number 61 offense, blocking downfield prior to the pass being thrown, penalty decline, 4th down.
That's a tough call, and many times it isn't seen, that screen pass, and those blockers out in front just guessing when the ball is completed, and Sapullo was premature in his block. Well, Cincinnati will get good field position. This kick, remember, into the wind, or at least the kicks going left to right in all the warm-ups were not traveling as far. Barry Helton from Colorado, a 4th-round draft pick. Ira Hillary, the deep man, Cincinnati, at the 45 in Bengal territory. Very high. And taken by Ray Horton. And Horton was a star punt returner at Washington. Returns to the San Francisco 43-yard line. Greg Cox made the tackle. 37-yard punt, 5 yards on the return. And there's the story with 4:04 remaining in the first half. It'll be 3D at the intermission. We hope you have your 3D glasses. Ickey Woods right into the pileup at the 41-yard line.
Dick, that's only Ickey Woods' 4th run of the day. I really felt coming into this ball game that if the Bengals did not take advantage of their strongest offensive asset, that big offensive line, and Ickey Woods' strength as a runner, that's the 7th of the day. Okay, I must have looked at the first quarter stats. 7th run of the day, but he has not been the kind of factor so far in this ball game that I expected him to be. And I think they've got to start wearing down this San Francisco defense for that running game.
Meanwhile, Esiason is averaging only 3 yards a pass. Has a man open, McGee, and a first down at the 23. The deepest penetration of the half for Cincinnati. Ronnie Lott made the tackle, but for Boomer Esiason with that rocket arm, he didn't have much on him. All-time, this is all-time Hall of Famers, Otto Graham, Sid Luckman, Norm Van Brocklin per attempt, and Boomer Esiason in his young career, 4th with an 8+. That's per attempt, not per completion. Today, per completion prior to that last pass, averaging only 3 yards.
And you're absolutely right. There's a 4.3 now.
That includes that pass to McGee.
And that ball did not have great velocity on it. It's the strength of his arm that impressed us earlier in the year.
Little delay to Brooks. And he's to the 20-yard line. Well read by 75 Kevin Fagan, who cut down the blocker and helped Don Griffin to come up from the corner to make the stop. Fagan played here at Miami of Florida.
Quite a few players with extra incentives today. Fagan is one. He's coming home. Eddie Brown, another coming home. A lot of stories on the field of players who want to play well. Fagan's the kind of guy that doesn't like coming off the field on pass plays. He said, I'd like to play all the downs, but he has been a run specialist.
There's the 2-minute timeout. Super Bowl 23 has been defense. 3-0 San Francisco with 2 minutes to go.
So, Walter, there's 2 minutes left in the game. White is only down by 3 points. What would you do in the last 2 minutes with Boomer?
Well, you're inside the 20-yard line. What you should do is you should stay with the play action and the quick hits up the middle, because what they're going to do is, if the running back splits it, he's in the end zone for a touchdown. So what he has to do is control the passes, not try to go for the big one all at once, because there you stand for an interception.
Do you think he was doing that earlier in the half?
I don't think so. Boomer had a little bit of problem. He was being overly aggressive. That tends to go with a big game when you want to do well and everybody's watching you. You realize the magnitude of this game and you know how you played in the past. He's trying to force the ball into positions where receivers are covered by 3 and 4 defenders. He's lucky that he hasn't had 2 or 3 interceptions thus far.
John, on the other hand, the 49ers, until that last drive, were seemingly moving the ball at will. But they're only up by 3.
They were. I mean, Montana was throwing the ball short to Craig and to Rathman. He was throwing on first down, which he likes to do. Wells threw on first down 18 for 182 yards in the last Super Bowl. So he likes to throw on first down and keep that defense guessing. And he was moving the ball very well on 2 series, but only got 6 points.
Right now we're going to put up on screen a shot of a good buddy of mine, Jimmy Breach. You see Jimmy there? He could be bringing the game all even right now with 2 minutes left. A field goal, obviously something that could be happening if they don't get the 7. Now, Jimmy introduced me to the game a long time ago, about 11 years ago. He was the kicker at Cal Berkeley. I went onto a field and started kicking, and he said, hey, I want to introduce you to our coach. And here I am today, not kicking. I'm in the booth, and he's still out there. Let's go back to the NBC commentators.
Joe Montana, as he grew up in Pennsylvania, his idol Joe Namath, the hero Super Bowl III that really changed the course of pro football. That game played, of course, at the Orange Bowl here in Miami. 2nd and 7 for Esiason. Ickey Woods gets 4 to the 16-yard line. Bill Romanowski, the rookie from Illinois, number 53, made the tackle.
We talked about the matchup between Kozerski on the nose and Michael Carter. Watch what happens here as Kozerski takes Carter outside. Stop it there. Watch him now as he'll just push him beyond the play, and the cutback by Ickey Woods. Well, we'll go back to the action, then we'll catch it in a moment.
Romanowski from Boston College made the hit. He was a 3rd-round pick. Now Esiason, 3rd down. Throws it, almost intercepted in the end zone. Tim McKyer was the closest player, way over the head of Eddie Brown. And here comes the field goal unit and Jim Breach, the man with the smallest foot in professional football, a size 5 right shoe. His other is a 7. He just wants to pack it in there. Father of 6 children. This 32-year-old kicker is tough from short range, and this certainly within his range will be a 34-yarder.
Now, this would be a big kick for that small foot. Tie him up in this ball game, get him back in the fight.
A hold by backup quarterback Turk Schonert, and we have a new game. Breach from 34 yards was a San Francisco 49er fan as he grew up and attended the University of California in Berkeley. 1:15 left in this first half. Boy, if you'd have said Merlin Olsen with just a little over a minute to go, there'd be a 3-3 game. Everyone was looking for a lot of points.
Looking for offensive explosions, and especially so if you'd have said we're going to lose, Cincinnati is going to lose its best defensive player early in the ball game, and the Bengals are going to be able to control the nose tackle, Michael Carter, their best defensive player. I just said, come on, no way. You're going to have a 3-3 game? This is a very unusual first half.
1:15 to go, and anyone who has followed the 49ers in the Bill Walsh, Joe Montana era know that their 2-minute offense or 1-minute offense into the first half offense, one of the very best in the National Football League, and they're charting out a way to get into that locker room with a lead. Cincinnati has 3 timeouts left, and the 49ers used one just before that errant field goal try when they were down on the Cincinnati 2, elected to go for the field goal bad snap, and they came away empty. Del Rogers and John Taylor are deep. Taylor on the near side. Lee Johnson. Ooh, does he hit a knuckleball? And Rogers fields it at the 2. And returns to the 25-yard line where Carl Parker, a wide receiver from Vanderbilt, makes the tackle.
One of the things we haven't seen yet, and Bill Walsh said he would use it during the day, he said, I will use the no-huddle offense at some time during the game. I won't use it to try and keep the defenders off the field for Cincinnati, but what I will use it for is to take advantage of some of the preset defenses. When he's gone through and probed with his plays, he knows what the automatic defenses are, and you may see him do that here in this situation.
The give to Craig. Cincinnati looking for the pass, and the 49ers run it and get 10 big yards out to the 35-yard line. And without a huddle, Montana brings them right back to the line of scrimmage into the final minute of this first half, a 3-3 tie.
And here's a situation where they're going to try and catch them in the automatic defense, force them to make the audible here, and try and get the big play.
Throw underneath to Craig, incomplete. He did not have control. Barney Bussey, extra defensive back, was covering Craig. 41 seconds left in the half. 2nd and 10. Or the one player you know that the Cincinnati defense is going to be sure they've located is number 80, Jerry Rice. And it's Rice to the near side, number 80. Montana dragged down at the 31-yard line. Jim Scow and Jason Buck, the two young defensive ends. Buck in his second year from BYU. He was their #1 pick after winning the Outland Trophy Award with the Cougars at BYU.
You don't want to let Montana out to his right. He wants to scramble right. And you see they force him back to the left-hand side. He's not nearly as comfortable moving back in that direction. It makes it possible to control him much easier defensively.
Timeout was called by Cincinnati. That's interesting because they're figuring that if they can stop Montana on 3rd down, they'll get the ball back maybe for a desperation play, but that is a rather surprising
call. Block the kick as well. They may be looking forward to that. You've got a rookie punter. You might take a chance with him. And also, you might realize that Chuck Thomas, who made the bad snap earlier, also makes the deep snaps to that punter, and he's having some problems putting that ball back there today.
And we'll be kicking into the wind. Well, we're getting down ahead of ourselves. It's still Montana with 3rd and 15. There's Thomas, whose snap was low on the short field goal try, and the 49ers unable to convert from 19 yards. Jerry Rice joined by John Taylor and Mike Wilson, 3 wide receivers, and he gives to Rathman, the fullback, out to the 42-yard line, short of the first down. Timeout, Cincinnati, with 26 seconds to go, and that means the 49ers will bring Helton, the punter, on.
Not as good a position to rush the punter here, because if you do get a roughing call, it would give them a first down.
Helton was picked high in the draft last spring in '88, 4th round, one of the 3 punters to make it in the NFL, rookie punters, and he replaced Max Runiger, the veteran, who went on to Cleveland. He averaged 39 plus on the season.
I asked the question, why replace both the kickers at the same time? And the answer was very simple. The kickers were so close. They were related by marriage, joined at the hip, I think was what Lynn Stiles said. And he said it would have been very difficult to put one rookie together with one of those vets and cut the other one. And their feeling was better to go ahead and start with 2 young kickers and let them come on and develop.
Runiger and Wersing, brothers-in-law. Nobody back for Cincinnati. 10 men on the line of scrimmage. Beautiful kick. And it is down at the 1-yard line. Ron Heller, number 89, the tight end, got to it. 57 yards for Helton. And with 13 seconds left in the first half, Cincinnati has to be certain, as they start from just outside the 2 is where they spot the ball, that they don't make a fatal final mistake before the gun.
Sam has seen enough of those.
Bebop Bamboozled in 3D is coming up. And then Bob Costas with Coach Don Schuler.
Coming up at halftime, we have the best of our music sequences from the year.
Everything without any problem.
Esiason just holds on to the ball, and they'll let the clock run out undoubtedly to end this first half. So they'll play a 30-minute game as Montana and Esiason, San Francisco, Cincinnati leave the field. A couple of field goals. First quarter, a 41-yarder by Mike Kofer of San Francisco. And Jim Breach answered late in the second period from 34 yards. And the biggest story of this first half, not the score, not any offensive or defensive play, but this, the Pro Bowler, number 69, Tim Crumry, fracturing both bones of his left leg on that play. And his season ends in pain and despair. And Steve Wallace, the offensive tackle of San Francisco. Montana knocked over his offensive lineman and he breaks his ankle. Those 2 injuries occurring in the first 14 plays of the game. That is the sad news. For the first time in 23 Super Bowls, we have a tie at halftime. Bengals 3, 49ers 3. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. Enjoy the show.
Well, if you were wondering if this was the lowest scoring Super Bowl in the history of the game, no it isn't. In Super Bowl 9, the Steelers were beating the Vikings 2-0. So we've got a relatively high scoring game. Walter, how are they going to break this deadlock?
Well, I'll tell you what, Cincinnati has to feel lucky because they've dodged the bullet. San Francisco's had opportunity after opportunity to put points on the board, but failed because of some error or some misjudgment. Cincinnati is not playing well. The latter part of the second quarter, they start to get momentum going and start moving the ball. But can they continue that coming back from the halftime layoff? If San Francisco can continue to move the ball with Montana with the short, accurate passes and the running of Roger Craig, they will continue the momentum going and move the ball. Eventually, they're going to score again.
James, John, same question to you. How are they going to break the deadlock?
Well, right now, the Bengals, I think, they're still in the game. But their defense is playing real well. It was a really difficult situation for them when they lost their leader, Crumwright. This was devastating to them, but they've come back from adversity the last 2 years, and they came back again. Scal and Buck are playing well. They've stopped Montana from turning the corner. They've stopped Craig. He's run to the right side all the time, and the old man, Williams, has been there. So the defense has come up. Fulcher has taken over the strong safety. He's taken over as the emotional leader of this team, I think, and he's really dominating in there. So the defense is playing well. I think they're getting better, and their confidence is building as the game is going along. On offense, they're struggling. Boomer is not playing well. He's not throwing the ball well. The running game is spasmodic. Every now and again it goes, and then the 49ers stop it. I think Boomer's got to come out and throw the ball on first down. He's got to use play action, and he's got to use those receivers of his to get that defense off his back so he can get more room in the pocket and move around and do what he's good at. Make things happen and be versatile.
Well, personally, I think the Bengals are going to come out of the half with more emotion than the 49ers. The 49ers should be leading this game by quite a lot of points. They haven't done that. The Bengals should have the upper hand. Coming up in our halftime show, we have the best of our music sequences from the year. It's the part of our show that I enjoy the most. So I hope you'll rejoin us in a few minutes. Welcome back. Well, now for the part of this show I've been looking forward to, the best of our music